Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Ron S. Jarman, the U.S. Census Bureau's acting director. Dr. Jarman is also currently the Deputy Director and Chief Operating Officer and has been since January 2019. He served as acting director from January 2021 to January 2022. He performed the non-exclusive functions and duties of the director from July 2017 to January 2019 and previously served as the associate director for economic programs. Jarman led the team for the 2017 economic census, overseeing a move to 100% internet data collection and leveraging enterprise investments to minimize system, application, and dissemination costs. Economic census data products provide the foundation for key measures of economic performance, including the nation's gross domestic product. From 2011 to 2016, Jarman served as Assistant Director for Research and Methodology. He oversaw a broad research program in statistics, survey methodology, and economics aimed at improving economic and social measurements within the federal statistical system. Since beginning his career at the Census Bureau in 1992, he has also served as the chief economist, chief of the Center for Economic Studies, and a research economist. Jarman holds a PhD in economics from the University of Oregon. An elected fellow of the American Statistical Association, he has published papers in the areas of industrial organization, business dynamics, entrepreneurship, technology, and firm performance, urban economics, data access, and statistical disclosure avoidance. Ron, I offer the floor to you. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, thanks, Diana. And I don't know if everybody saw that right before you started talking. I lost my internet connection here in this hotel that I'm in Sacramento, California. So, good morning, everyone. And it's great that we could do this virtually this year because I can do this from Sacramento, California. But also, Donna tells me that there's just under 1,200 registered attendees. I don't know how many are online right now. Hopefully more will come on later to hear the actually interesting stuff, not listen to me blabber. But it's great to be able to talk to so many people from around the country. And also, but it's also a little sad that we couldn't welcome you all in our newly remodeled building in Suitland, where we now have not only the Census Bureau, but the Bureau of Economic Analysis, who moved in several years ago, and also the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And so, Suitland's become this little sort of statistical mecca. So if we have this meeting in person in Suitland one of these days, I encourage you all to come out. So, but 1,200 people signing up to listen to people talk about the ACS is just a testament of the sort of the power of the American Community Survey. And it's just a workhorse survey across so many domains, as evidenced by, the variety of folks that we have attending here, folks from not only statistical agencies and academia, but state and local governments, from philanthropies. So the sort of breadth of use of the ACS, I think, is one of the most astounding things that we have at the Bureau in terms of, people from all different sort of walks of life and different interests, still interested in using the ACS. We do a lot of other surveys that kind of have sort of niche audiences, but that's not the case with the ACS. And you're going to hear all sorts of stuff about the ACS, and so I won't go into a lot of details. I thought I'd give you, some brief remarks about maybe things you've been seeing in the news and stuff like that at the Census Bureau and other statistical agencies and the federal government writ large. So I'll just kind of cut right to the chase. We've had over the past several months, many of our friends and colleagues have taken up the opportunities either through the DRP, the directed or delayed retirement program, and also what we call Vera VSIP, early outs and that sort of thing. So the Census Bureau's lost over 1,000 employees, both at headquarters in our Jeffersonville Processing Center and also folks out in the field that collect the data for surveys like the ACS. And that it feels, for those of us who are still here, feels a little bit like Thanos snapped his finger and a lot of your friends and colleagues went away, but that fortunately they didn't turn into dust. They just retired. But this is going to have an impact. Okay. And so you can't lose that many people and keep doing everything that you're doing. And so, Census has an amazing team, including the folks that do the ACS. So on Donna's team, and the thousands of dedicated FRs that go out and knock on doors to do follow-up for the ACS, but also to do the interviews for the current population survey and dozens of other surveys. And so, we're working hard to make sure that the people that we still have the tools that they need to be able to continue to produce a high quality data that you and others around the country rely on. And so just, know that we're on the job and we'll do our best. But I think in the case of losing over 1,000 folks, we're gonna have to do some priority setting. And we're still in the process of doing those exercises amongst the senior leadership at the Census Bureau, but also looking about how we can best deploy the staff that remains to our high priority program. So while the details aren't there, I think you can kind of imagine how that exercise would go. So programs like the ACS, obviously the decennial census, our principal federal economic indicator surveys that we do of both households and businesses, things as supply the unemployment rate and monthly retail sales. Those sorts of things will always get high priority. So down the list, we'll probably have some things that we'll keep doing, but we might not prioritize enhancements and those sorts of things. And there may be some things we'll stop doing. Okay. And so we still haven't made final decisions on that, but I just want to bring this to your all's attention just to say that, as a data user, there will be impacts and we're going to do our best to mitigate those impacts. But I just want to kind of put that out there up front. One thing we're not going to stop doing, though, is our sort of modernization and transformation process to make our surveys more efficient and to be able to use other source data to improve our data products. So we can't do that. And in fact, I think in an environment with constrained personnel, we're going to have to. We have no choice. And so, I think there's good progress to report here. One thing I'd like to, you might have heard us talk about our business ecosystem improvement. So, we're in the past, all of our different surveys were processed maybe on separate software platforms using different tools. So we're moving all of that to a kind of a unified data collection and ingest system we call DICE that will all of our surveys and even our administrative data will flow through this into a cloud-based processing environment that we call the Enterprise Data Lake. Like lots of organizations call it that, I think. But so all the data can come together, and so our subject matter experts can produce improved estimates from a broader base of source data. So one of the great things that we've been able to do, and there were lots of folks doubting that we could move in this direction, but we're testing right now out in the field an internet response option for the current population survey. And so I don't know if you're all CPS junkies, there that was both a sort of a in-person or a CAPI kind of survey. And so having an internet response option, we're hoping, and our colleagues that sponsor this CPS from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, we're hoping that can help keep the costs down, so that we can work on other ways of improving labor market statistics for the country. So big step in the right direction there. One of the innovations on the business survey side was the consolidation of 7 annual surveys into our new annual integrated economic survey. And so that was done both from a efficiency perspective and a data quality perspective, but also from a survey burden perspective, following up from a study done by the National Academies a few years back. And so that survey is also fully in the new business ecosystem using the new enterprise-wide software, that the same stuff that the CPS is now starting to use. And eventually, in the next couple of years, we'll be moving the ACS there as well. So having common enterprise-wide software developed in-house by Census Bureau engineers, using a lot of open source tools, will really drive a lot of efficiencies and cost savings going forward. But also we'll be able to give all of our subject matter experts access to far richer source data. And that's one of the things that we're doing with the FRAMES program, to make sure that when we bring in different measurements, whether it be from surveys, whether it be from administrative data, whether it be from third-party data that we're using, that our subject matter experts have all of that data available to produce the most high-quality estimates possible. And from the ACS, the workhorse that it is, I think one of the things that we can start to think about is, can we use measurements from the ACS in other programs? Okay. So you mentioned the CPS. Could we use ACS data to help improve monthly labor market statistics in kind of real time? Still kind of working around on stuff like that to see if that could be useful. But I think, there's all sorts of stuff that we can do there. So, I think I'll probably stop there. I got to do in 2 minutes. I got to get on a budget call. So I'm sorry I can't spend more time here, but I'm in Sacramento today to talk to other data users. I'm at the C2ER state LMI workshop here, where we'll be talking to a bunch of folks from around the country, just like this, but in person this time. So with that, I want to thank you all for letting me get on early in the morning here and give you some opening remarks. Enjoy the rest of the conference, and look, we really do appreciate all of your support. We need it now, like we needed it before, and we'll need it tomorrow too. So everybody take care. Enjoy the rest of the conference. I'll be seeing you. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Ron, for those remarks and for joining us early in the morning before a full day of meetings. Thanks. Really appreciate it. So now we're about to transition into our next webinar event. So the next session will start right at 10:30, and we'll see you in that room. Thanks. Bye.